Make a date with Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markwei at 6 a.m. from Monday to Saturday on Graphic Online via Facebook and YouTube as he expounds on matters of faith. Graphic Online, truth and accuracy every day.
This is Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markwei of Living Streams International, bringing you matters of faith with Graphic Online. Before I even go into the topic of today, that is wrong expectations. The topic of today is wrong expectations. I want to announce to you that we're taking a fast. And the fast is a 21-day fast from the 18th to the 7th of February. We're taking a powerful fast. We're seeking the face of God for 21 days. And it's from morning till evening. We are coming into the presence of God. We are dealing with issues, and we are asking God to speak into tomorrow. We don't know how tomorrow is going to be, but we know that if we speak to Him, He's got tomorrow covered. There are things, there are challenges, there are issues that we face, and there are things that we need to see this year. So we need to put it in the prayer. We're going to seek the face of God with prayer. And I can tell you this, our fasts are characterized by miracles, notable miracles. I ain't just jiving you. I'm telling you the basic truth. I mean, people have had angelic visitations as a result of fasts. They can testify. They are there. Interesting divine interventions and angelic visitations that will blow your mind out when we begin to seek the face of God in prayer and fasting. There are testimonies. We have a litany of testimonies upon testimonies. And I personally can tell you about testimonies that things that we set ourselves to do and pray at the beginning of the year. So even in the midst of COVID, I can tell you that we had endless possibilities. Endless possibilities. Why? Because going to seek the face of God. God didn't tell me about COVID. I don't know about COVID. But guess what? We spoke into the heavenlies. We spoke into the ears of God. We raised altars before God. And we did some very powerful things. And here's the principle. Here's the interesting thing. Every evening from 7 to 8 p.m. we meet and pray on Mondays to Fridays. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. 1 hour prayer time at the Living Streams Life Cathedral. We meet and pray. Make a date with us as you join us for the fast. But this morning, I'm talking about wrong expectations. And you can find my lesson in Exodus chapter 7, verse 2 to 5. You know, in reading the story of Moses and the deliverance of the Israelites, I found something there. From Exodus chapter 3, God begins to give Moses his marching orders. Exodus chapter 4 through 5 and all those things, 6. Now here's the interesting thing. But in Exodus chapter 7, you know, God said to Moses, go and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. And this is what God said. I am sure. God said, I know Pharaoh. Pharaoh will never let them go without a fight. So Pharaoh is going to give you a lot of problems. And Pharaoh is not going to let the people go out easily like that. God said that to Moses, that Pharaoh is going to be resistant to the idea of the departure of the Israelites from the bonds of slavery. It's not going to be possible. He's going to make it impossible for you to achieve that particular goal. God spoke to Moses and told him about that. Now here we are. Moses goes for the very first time and tells Pharaoh that, look, you need to let the people of God go. And Pharaoh said, no, I won't let them go. And Pharaoh rather hardened his heart, and Pharaoh made their work, the work of bondage and their slavery jobs much more perilous and much more difficult for them. And that's what Pharaoh did. And guess what? The whole of Israel, including Moses, raised up a cry. They raised up a cry. Oh, why? What is this? That you have brought us? You should have let the status quo and all those things. Hey, excuse me. Their expectation was that when Moses goes to talk to Pharaoh, immediately Pharaoh was going to let them go. But here's the reality of it. God said, Pharaoh is going to give you problems. There are going to be challenges. There's going to be warfare. There are going to be issues. There are going to be mountains. There are going to be valleys. There are going to be trouble. There's going to be pain. There's going to be discomfort. There's going to be unease. Unrealistic expectations. I think I like to call it that one rather. Unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. And here is it. They were now using it against Moses and using it against God. Who said that God gives us a straight path flight? No. There are turbulences. 2021 will bring its turbulences. But God is in control. He's still the pilot. So unrealistic expectations sometimes makes us mad with God and mad with his people and mad with his servants and mad at the word of God. And so we begin to say, we are tired of it. We've heard it all over again. Unrealistic expectations. God never told them Pharaoh was not going to give them trouble. He never told them that. He said Pharaoh is going to give you trouble. But when Pharaoh brings trouble, I'm going to give Pharaoh more wahala, more trouble. And sometimes our unrealistic expectations becomes a stumbling block in our worship with God, in our worship to God. Our unrealistic expectations becomes a stumbling block to our worship to God. Because, hey, God has failed me. He never fails. Are you sure you are the one who will give God the tag failure? Never. He's not going to fail because of you. He's not going to fail. No, he never does that. So that no one can stand in heaven and say God is a failure. Let God be true and every man a liar. Unrealistic expectations can sometimes cloud our sense of judgment and make us hold God and accuse God's people, when in reality, he never made that promise. He said, I am taking you to a land flowing with milk and honey. He didn't tell them that there was going to be no fight. He didn't tell them that. Unrealistic expectations have sometimes become a stumbling block for God's people. Read it carefully. You know what? Unrealistic expectations is going to give you a lot of trouble. Because you're going to say, my heart is sick because of hope deferred. No. Well, that's my piece for this morning. See you later.